Hello and welcome to our next video. If you like the content we're putting out, please consider subscribing. A like is much appreciated, and any comments you'd like to make would be greatly appreciated too. So today we're going to look at the Premier Survival Kit by Polymath products. This is a British product. It's certainly a larger kit compared to some of the other pocket kits you might see around. And what I'm going to do is review it in line with Dave Canterbury's 10 C's of Survival. I've devised a scoring system. So we're looking at the 10 C's, which are a cutting tool, combustion device, cover, container, cordage, a cotton bandana, cargo tape, commonly called duct tape in the UK, a compass, cloth sail needle or any sort of needle, and candling device. So candling device in this context is a light source, so this could be a torch or some other light source. So those are the 10 C's. I'm also looking for components which are useful for signalling, gaining energy, water storage and purification, first aid, and obtaining food. So that gives us 15 points. I shall put a list of these points in the description. And for each of these you can get up to 2 points. One for the presence of a device which will enable, or an item which will enable you to accomplish this goal. And a second point if you've got more than one item, so you have a redundancy. There is a saying, 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none, which suggests that if you have one item, then you lose it, you've got nothing. If you've got 2 items, you have a redundancy, and if you lose one or one fails to work, you have a second to fall back on. And 3 is 2, if you lose one, you still have both a primary and a secondary. So 1 point for presence of an item, and then 2 points if you have more than one choice. So the Premier Survival Kit, it comes in a cardboard box with the contents list on the front. I'll just take this out a second. And inside the box you have quite a large tin. It's sort of a mess tin style with these roller closures to sort of slightly compress the contents and keep it safe. If you compare this to another British made survival kit, this is the BCB Combat Survival Kit, and it's probably approximately half the footprint, and maybe the Combat Survival Kit is maybe 2/3 the depth of the Polymath product kit. So we're hopeful that we're going to have a better range of capabilities and items in this kit. Okay, so start off with, let's measure this kit. So let's just bring the scales into view. Pop that on top of there. So that is roughly, just even it out a bit, roughly 650 grams. I'll take that away. Now we're going to measure it. So the kit itself is about 7 inches, which is 18 centimeters across, by, just trying to keep it in shot, 4.5 inches by, which is about 12 centimeters that way, and a depth of 2.25 inches, which is about 6 centimeters deep. Okay, let's take this out of the way for a second. Okay, let's have a look at the kit itself. So just gonna roll this up so it lifts slightly. You can see there's something compressed underneath, and you can see the inside of the lid. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a rubber gasket around the outside, so it makes it a little bit more waterproof. I suppose the downside of that is it means you can't use this as a frying pan because it will melt, but it certainly helps to keep the contents dry, and it can be also used for placing other items on to keep them off the ground. So we have an instruction leaflet. I'll just open this up. It gives the content lists, how to use some of the items, and then some survival tricks and tips on the back. Okay, all else fails gives you something to read or could be used for tinder. So I'll pop that to one side. The container itself obviously can be used as a cooking pot. You could fashion some sort of bales out of this and suspend it over a fire or rest it on the fire itself. So first item out of the kit is an emergency bag. So if you look at the depth of this is probably about twice the depth of a standard space blanket or emergency foil blanket. So it shows it's a bit more rugged. We'll test it out at some point. It gives you some examples of how it might be used. There is a saying, that for sleeping outdoors, you need something to sleep in, sleep on, and sleep under. So this gives you an option for something to sleep in. So you would need to make some sort of shelter using sort of green boughs or something to create a bed or something to sit or stand on, and then create a shelter over you. But it is one item. And as far as shelter components are concerned, they're always going to be limited in a tin-based kit because these items tend to be quite bulky. I'll place that over there, out of the way. Okay, so what else have we got? We've got some paracord. I believe there's 3 meters of paracord here. It's a nice bright orange colour. So if you're looking for something that's going to stand out against the wilderness, if you're in a permissive environment, that's great. Makes it easier to find you. And if you drop it, it's not as easy to lose as green paracord. If you want to enhance it, you could exchange it for something like bankline or a type of survival cord, which has got more cores in it with different capabilities. Okay, so next we have a glow stick. So obviously these are one-use lighting options. So this would come under the candling in the 10Cs, but it's like a one-use throwaway item. And I believe, I'll finish you a bit. There's also a torch. There's a small micro light torch. I'll just light that up. So limited light, but better than nothing. And there's also a candle, which could be used as light source, a bit squished this one, but it can also be used for fire lighting as well. So we have sort of 3 potential candling devices, and this has a dual purpose, but can also be used for fire starting. Okay, so what else have we got? We have a compass on a lanyard. So this is one of the standard button compasses you often see, but the advantage of having it on the lanyard makes it harder to lose, and it makes it accessible all the time because you can keep it around your neck. I'll be tempted to put the torch on the same lanyard to keep that safe as well, because it's quite a small and dark coloured item. And we also have another item which could go on the lanyard in here, which is a small combination fire steel and whistle. So the ferrocerium rod is down the side, and if I pull that out, that's as you're striking. I wouldn't really call this a blade as far as cutting is concerned, but it's certainly suitable for the rod. And on this end is a whistle. So I just give this a blow, we'll see what it sounds like. Oh, that's quite a shrill whistle, actually, if you could hear that properly. So quite a good whistle, even if the fire starting capabilities is a bit small. So we have a container, we have cover, we have cordage, we have several candling devices, and now we have at least 2 fire devices, or devices which are useful for starting a fire. So we can put those 2 together. Other fire type devices, we have some exo gel. So this is for the stove, which is, I believe, is in the bottom of the box. So again, a good fire lighting combination there. And then one of my optional items was energy. And some kits you get are very tool heavy, but it's always good to have some sort of instant energy, both from a psychological and a very physiological process as well. And I can see we have some energy options here. So we have a chocolate Kendall mint cake. I'll just have a look. Has it got the nutritional information on here? Yes, so the bar is 40 grams. So in 100 grams, there's 402 calories, 7.1 grams of fat, 4.27 of those are saturated fat, and 84 grams of carbohydrates. So you want about half those to get down to, well, 40% of those to get down to the figures for the actual bar itself, but you know, better than nothing. We also have a stock cube. So having a nice warm drink is a great thing. Having it flavoured is even better. And stock cubes contain a lot of salt and other nutrients. So in itself, it can be a good boost for the body. We also have a packet of hot chocolate. So again, both sugar, carbs, and something as a bit of a morale boost. So compared to some kits, that's not a bad little start, bearing in mind the limited amount of space that you have in these bags. So just going to move the energy to one side. What we have as well, which goes into the fire components, are these wax jute sticks. So there's, I believe, 20 in there, so a good aid to starting the fire. You can break them up a little bit, use the flint and steel to light it. So again, now we have 4 components in the fire component, so I think we're quite well sorted there. There isn't a sail needle, but I can see there is a small repair kit. I've certainly seen other YouTubers comment about the smallness of these buttons. Most outdoor clothing have much bigger buttons on there. These are standard shirt buttons. And you don't really need multiple colour thread in a survival situation. Probably having some larger needles and single colour thread would be quite sufficient. But there is a selection there, and there's a few needles in there as well, and the odd safety pin. So it could be improved, but it's something. And now we're thinking about water. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 water purifying tablets. These have quite a long shelf life, I believe. Let's see if I can find it on here. So these are good for about 2 years. We also, in the water department, right at the bottom, I can see it poking up. There is a standing water bag. So this could be filled with water. It's got a Ziploc top, and it will stand up on its own. So this can be used for storing water. So this in itself could be deemed to be a second container. So we have 2 points for the container section. Okay, so other things, we have some waterproof note paper. Good for taking notes, navigating, leaving notes for people, etc. And a pencil to go with it. Okay, what else do we have? In the energy section, I suppose this would go under, we have some rehydration fluid. So this is if somebody's dehydrated or has had diarrhea, this will both rehydrate them and give them those essential nutrients that they need. So I can go in there. Okay, we have a signalling mirror. If I can catch the light on that one, I'm indoors at the moment, but you can see it does work. It does have a protective film over it, so it would be even brighter. So this can be used both for signalling. It's not a standard signalling mirror because it doesn't have the hole in it, but you can also use it for sort of personal hygiene, looking at parts of your body for ticks and things that you wouldn't normally be able to view. So signalling was one of my optional categories, so we have that covered. Together with the whistle, in fact, so that's 2 points for signalling. We have a single compressed towel. So these, when wet, expand into a larger cloth. Can be used for personal hygiene or re-dried out and used as tinder. So they have a couple of uses. We have this is actually a tongue depressor, but it's a stirrer for the hot chocolate or for the drinks. It could also be used for tinder if you're desperate. And then again, for the fire cooking section, we have a flat packed stove, which can be used with the Exogel. So not something you often see in a single box survival kit. Is normally an additional item, so that's a plus point for this kit, certainly. And now I can see we're down to some first aid items. So we have a 10 by 20 absorbent dressing pad. So this could be used as a single thing for a larger wound. It could be cut up into smaller pieces for smaller wounds, or it could be used for tinder if you needed something fluffed up a bit and use the cotton inside for tinder. We have some injection swabs. So these are meant for wound cleaning, but they are tiny, but better than nothing. They also can be burnt because they are flammable. So another fire crossover first aid item. And then we have a length of Mirfix. So this is, it's a sort of a clothy type dressing tape with a backing on it. So this could be used to secure it could be cut in strips and used with a bit of the gauze padding for smaller dressings, or it could be used in entirety to secure the big bad. So you're never going to get something like a combat wound dressing in one of these boxes. So this is, you know, a not too shabby substitute. Okay, so that's the contents of the Polymath survival kit, Premier survival kit. So I'll just add up what we have. You can check it with me. So we don't really have a cutting tool, so nothing like that. Combustion, we only have one means of combustion, but we have several aids in the fact that we have some different things that could possibly use for tinder. We have the Exogel and we have the candle as well, so that could be used to aid firelighting. If I was to amend this kit, and I shall do another video on an enhanced version of this kit, I would certainly put a larger fire starting device in here, and possibly lighter as well if I could fit one in. So we'll give them for the moment we'll give them 2 points for combustion. We have one cover element, so that's one for cover. We have potentially 2 containers, so we'll give another 2 for that. We have one lot of cordage, although I suppose the necklace is a little bit of cordage, but I don't think that warrants an extra point. We don't have a cotton bandana. We don't have any duct tape or cargo tape. We do have a compass, so that's a point for that one. We don't have a sail needle, and to be honest with you, the sewing kit in there is quite minimalistic, so I don't think we'll get any points for that. Candling devices, which are light sources. We actually have 3 light sources, although I would like to replace the glow stick with a small flashlight and a spare battery, but we do have those, so we'll give another 2 points for that. Where did I get to? Candling devices. So the extra ones, signalling, we have 2 signalling options. We have a signal mirror and the whistle, although again I would probably replace it with a proper signal device if I had the room. So we're up to 11 points so far. We have a couple of energy options, so that's 2 points for that. 13, we're doing well. We have somewhere to both to store and to purify water, so that's another 2 points. We're up to 15 so far. We have several first aid options, so that's 17 points. And the last one was ability to obtain food. So potentially you could use the cordage for snares, although I prefer wire snares. But other than that, there's no real fishing components or proper snares or any other ways of making spear traps or anything like that. So maybe another 1 point for that. I think so far that gives us 16 points, but I will double check. So 16 out of 30 doesn't seem a great deal, but for quite a small compact kit, I think it's quite a good showing. And if I'll do some other reviews of other kits and see how they compare. Certainly I'd like to, if there's, I suspect there might be just be enough room to fit in a small folding knife, possibly something like a Swiss Army knife. The reason well, I think there's multiple reasons it doesn't come with a knife. A, it would add to the cost considerably, and in the UK we have very strict laws about blades. You can't carry any sort of decent sized blade around in public unless you need it for work or have good reason for having it. And if you post something with a knife through the post, it has to go by a recorded delivery, and a recipient needs to prove they're over 18. So there's an added complexity for putting knives in kits. So that's it for this video. Like I say, if you like our content, please like, subscribe, and leave any comments in the section. It'd be lovely to hear from you, and hopefully we'll catch you again with another video. Thanks very much.